maybe this is promoting it, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I can find nothing wrong with it. And I'd much rather have my 5 kids smoking weed than I would drinking or doing Valiums or other prescription drugs. 1984, 72% of the people that died from drug overdoses and stuff the doctor gave them. The rest of it was alcohol related. And I mean, this is a serious thing, alcohol. 75 to 80% of the people that are in prison for violent crimes were under the influence of alcohol. 80% of your family violence, child abuse and neglect, alcohol related. Well, let me tell you.
In our organization here, and we're not going to get anybody to do shit with 4 members. So I need everybody that's on the Diag here to this year or next year sign up for University of Michigan Normal. Don't cost no money, and it's a good cause.
Everyone settle down. And that's what Norm was going to do. Also the opinion of a police officer that he was driving while impaired. But the fact is, he had a jury trial, and he was found guilty of those charges, but the prosecuting attorney decided to inform the judge that Rich was associated with this event, and that was somehow wrong, that he was exercising his First Amendment rights to protest, and the judge thought that Rich had to be chastised for this. So he's ordering him held without bond in jail without bail until sentencing on April 13th. Now that is unheard of, to keep someone on charges like that in jail for 2 weeks. This judge is so upset about having all you people gather here. I think it tells you something about the people involved in the war on drugs. By suppressing us, by scaring us, that they're going to keep us away from gatherings like this. They don't really mind you if we smoke marijuana in private. They've made that clear. But the object of their policies is to keep us in private, to keep us out of the public eye, and to keep us from challenging the squandering of public money and the erosion of civil liberties that the drug war creates. So we're going to get Rich out of jail one way or another. That is before April 13th. Or after April 13th, and Rich is going to be here next year, and we're going to have twice as many people here, because this movement is growing and growing, and your presence here today has helped that out an awful lot. And Norma thanks you, and Norma respects you, and Norma will support you in your fight to stand up for your rights. Thank you all very much.
All right. And now the green thumb of the herb plant. I'd like to introduce you at this time, Mr. Ed Rosenthal.
Well, I'd like to sum up what John Getman said. You know, it is appropriate that the hash bash is taking place here on April. We are standing here protesting the laws. There are 20,000 people in jail for marijuana. Last year, 360,000 people were busted for marijuana in the United States. The government confiscated $500 million in property from marijuana smokers, from people who are smoking in their houses, from people who are cultivating a small garden. We're not going to take this shit anymore. And that's exactly what marijuana represents to the establishment. People who don't want to fit into their square pants. You know what's ironic? 20 years ago, in 1967, I was sitting in a room on the Lower East Side of New York, and people were talking about when marijuana would be legalized. And they said, it'll be legalized in 5 years, or it'll be legalized in 10 years. But nobody thought that 20 years later, 21 years after Sgt. Pepper, that marijuana would still be illegal. And let us look at this. Some of you people were conceived that very summer, the summer of love, in 1967. Go on here, because there's nobody up here smoking a joint with me. Is there somebody here with a joint? One person. Hey, come back here. Come back here. Please place this on hold for just a moment. Hope you're over 21. Years. And we see junkies on the street, especially in urban areas. Exactly. But the reason, part of the reason that we have this drug program is because we don't have our priorities straight. When we equate marijuana with some of these really dangerous substances, reason for it, it's absurd. It's absurd the way our foreign policy is absurd. And mind you, all of these things are linked. This is not some separate issue. This is part of the whole spectrum of human rights issues. Whether we're talking about the right of people to live free from terrorism of the Contras in Nicaragua, whether we're talking about the right of women to have equal rights, whether we're talking about the right of all people to live as equals no matter the race. All of these issues are linked. Make no mistake about it, that marijuana is as much a human rights issue as the gay issue is. And we have to link up with these people in order, with a Rainbow Coalition, in order to change these laws and to make us free. Thank you.
People here are today. Judge Shea decided that he shouldn't be here today because he was an organizer of the Hash Bash, and he's in jail now. And it's hard to believe that this is America in 1988 with this kind of thing going on. And I'd like people to know that there's a man running for president in 1988 who wants to legalize marijuana. His name is Ron Paul. He's a former congressman from Texas, and he's the candidate of the Libertarian Party. There's a man running for the U.S. Senate in 1988 here in Michigan who wants to legalize marijuana. His name is Dick Jacobs. He's the candidate of the Libertarian Party. I personally am running for city council in Ann Arbor. The election is Monday. If you believe in keeping the low fine, the $5 pot fine in Ann Arbor, I hope you'll vote for me and the other Libertarian candidates, because we believe in legalizing marijuana. This is the only political movement that believes in legalizing marijuana, and we don't want to make this a partisan thing, but let's help Rich Burkett. I don't care what your political persuasion is. Get in touch with the normal people here today. Come to the dance tonight. Help.
Okay. You're right. Oh, sorry. You're right. All right? Badass. All right, come on. James, be careful. Right here, right behind him. The banner guy, right behind him. Oh. Right to the man. In a crowd of estimated over 300 people. Who is it? No, we're over here. Remember what I said? Right?
Look at this. It's even darker than
Why is
yesterday.
the elevator working?
Someone scrubbed it out with soap.
Why would anyone do that?
Well, it's pretty obvious, dear. Our son has been smoking.
Peter?
Of course not, Wally.
Look, he promised he wouldn't smoke until he was old enough. I don't think so.
Remember those cigarettes I found out in the garage a couple of weeks ago?
Where are you going?
Upstairs to see Wally about this.
Well, I think we should give him a chance to come to us.
Come on, Sue.
I need to do that.
Sure.
See you, Tim. Look down.
Alligator. Hey.
According to Greek mythology, she was responsible for all the troubles of the world. Wally, does the story of Pandora have any particular significance for you? You know, her curiosity and doing things she was told not to do?
Gee, Dad, we had that story last year in school. There's no use remembering junk you already got a mark for.
Of course not.
Could I be excused? I've got a lot of homework.
Me
Well,
Yes, me too.
As much to push up as you do.
Oh, maybe you don't have any coordination.
What's that?
Well, it's something you get when you get older.
Like carrying yourself?
Okay. Kind of.
Hey, Wally, why was Dad telling us that story about that Pandora girl?
Well, he told most of the story to me. I think I'm supposed to have a guilty conscience about something.
that's cool. I got it,
What are
man.
you supposed to have a guilty conscience about?
Well, last week in school, we...
Wally. That's why it hurts us when you try to hide something from us.
Better hurry.
Mr. Haynes called you, huh?
Mr. Haynes?
Yeah, about goosing up the showers?
No. I know what you did. But don't you think you'd feel a whole lot better about it if you just came right out and...
How did Dad know Wally?
Portia.
Well, because... What you gonna do, Dad?
We'll make him stay
think they're
all
France
weekend if
or something.
necessary till he makes up his mind to come to me and admit the whole thing. The thing I can't understand is his denying it. It's just not like Wally at all.
This one of Mars.
Applehead, if you hadn't taken the kid in, we wouldn't have all this like a potato. Go on, wash your ears. Go on, get washed up. They're crying. Quiet, little baby. Quiet. Quiet, little angel. Quiet, angel.